Hello, welcome to the show. Um, Today's show is about um, the way that we live our lives, um, the approach we take to living our lives. You could call it attitude, um, but specifically, there are two basic roots that can be at the foundation of the choices we make every day, all day long. Um, and one of them is generally less healthy than the other, but we're usually unconscious, completely unconscious of which one we're using, or whether what we're doing is rooted in one of these or the other. And the two things that ultimately motivate why we do things or think a certain way or act a certain way are that we are either motivated by avoidance or fear of pain, fear of hurt, fear of screwing up, whatever, avoidance and fear, or that we're motivated by the pursuit of joy and curiosity, desire. So it's pretty much everything we do is rooted in one or the other. When we are driven primarily by fear or avoidance, which we often are, because I've seen it said where people are more likely to be motivated by avoidance and fear than they are to be motivated by opportunity, curiosity, pursuit of joy. It's deep in our nature, but it's not the route to happiness. And in order to be happy, we need to consciously be aware of this. To think, I mean, there's ways you can deal with this. If you want to know yourself, which of these is primarily guiding your life or is guiding different aspects of your life or different choices or different behaviors that you're engaged in. Because the more you emphasize the pursuit of joy, curiosity, desire, generally the happier you're going to be. And the less that you spend your time just trying to avoid pain, the happier you're going to be, and vice versa. So, as an exercise, I suggest taking a look at some of the major things that you do. I mean, what are you doing with your life? You're going to school, you work, you're in a relationship. These are the big picture things, and also little things. Why do I do this? Why do I have this habit? Where did it come from? Why do I take this route to work every day? Why do I, and why do you not do things? Sometimes we may consciously choose not to do things or just not consider doing things. Why do we do that? It's usually because of fear, avoidance of something that we're worried about, whether consciously aware of it and worried about it, or just as often completely unconscious, which cuts off opportunities for discovery of joy, curiosity, satisfaction of curiosity, or or satisfaction of sincere desire. And so the more we can gear our life towards pursuing the positives, the better it will be. So take a look at your life. Take a look at specific things that you do. For me, for example, many of us have anxieties or, so we also have habits that are left over from times when we had anxieties or issues or fears in our life. And we built these habits into our life to avoid things that we thought were unpleasant. Then we get along later in our life and we really don't have those anxieties anymore, but we're still doing things a certain way because that's the way we've always done it. It's habit. But you have to kind of consider that it's possible that these habits are interfering with opportunities for more joy in your life. So I know I'm being very general. I'm trying to think of some examples for me because this is a general rule and I use it, I apply it all the time when I'm doing something, or especially if something seems to be ultimately something that's getting in my way. And I ask myself, wait a minute, why am I doing this? Why do I always do it this way? Um, you know, what's in it for me, to be honest? It's okay to be selfish in that way. I mean, why am I doing this? Why do I hang around with this particular person? Why haven't I, you know, considered changing careers or approaching someone who could be a new friend or partner? What's stopping me? What am I afraid of? And sometimes it's a habitual behavior, habitual way that we approach things, like a certain fear of approaching people, a fear of trying things new things, fear of success, fear of failure. Once again, these are all fears. So when those are our primary motive, they're probably not adding, even though we may avoid pain, they're not adding to our joy, and they may be interfering with our opportunities for joy. And on the joy side, as far as that, a lot of times it's a matter of opening your eyes and thinking about possibilities. We're so busy avoiding pain and just robotically going through our lives and responding to everybody else's demands in our life that we fail or forget to actually consciously think about what it is we would really like. What will we enjoy? What could I be doing right now that is super cool? And why aren't I doing it? Sometimes it's just laziness or stiction, as I've called it. The tendency of somebody who's sitting on a sofa to stay on the sofa. But there's others of us can't sit down, and they don't have that problem. But bottom line is, adding more pursuit of joy, adding more positively motivated behaviors may require a conscious effort to get your creativity juices going and start thinking about what you could do instead of what you're doing now. And then asking, why aren't you? So, like I said, I use this as a general, test, like a litmus test for my life. And I use it all the time whenever look at myself and wonder, why am I doing certain things? Why am I doing certain things in a certain way? And why aren't I doing certain things? And I try to get rid of the avoidance of fear and add the pursuit of joy, as far as what's motivating me, and that inevitably pushes me towards behaviors that bring lightness and joy into my life. So I suggest it for you. And that's simply been something that's been useful to me. I hope it's useful to you. So, with that, that's today's show. I appreciate your attention. As always, leave comments because I love to read your comments. And I appreciate them. And I want your guidance too. If you have feedback or complaints or whatever, let me know because I want to know. And until next time, see you later.